Daf Yomi, Tractate Bava Metzia, page 18b, top of the page, with the words Chayeshinan Lishnei Shivirei. We are concerned about the possibility that there are two cities named Shiviri, and that this bill of divorce may belong to someone else who lives in the other Shiviri, and therefore it should not be returned. And Rav Chisda said to Rabba about this issue, "Go out and examine this halacha. As in the evening Rav Huna will ask you about it." He went out, examined it, and discovered a relevant source. As we learned in a Mishnah 20a, one must return any court enactment, meaning a promissory note that has been authenticated by the court, to its owner. Since the bill of divorce was found in the court, it is in this category and must be returned. The Gemara concludes its proof that even in a place where passing caravans are common, the concern that the bill of divorce belongs to another couple applies only if it is known that there is another couple in the same locale with the same names as those written in the bill of divorce. And the court of Rav Huna is comparable to a place where passing caravans are common, as many people from different places pass through for judgment. And yet, Rabba resolved that if one finds a bill of divorce there, he should return it. Evidently, he holds that if it is established that there are two people named Yosef ben Shimon in the city, then there is indeed a concern. I wonder why it's Yosef ben Shimon. There might be some code behind that. I wonder. I remember in other places, I think in Gittin, or maybe it was in Kedush. Yeah, I think Gittin. It's a Yosef ben Shimon was the example name. Yosef ben Shimon in the city, then there is indeed a concern, and the document should not be returned. But if not, there is no concern. The Gemara relates that Rabba performed an action, in other words, issued a practical ruling with regard to a certain bill of divorce that was found in a flax house in the city of Pumbedita, in accordance with his halacha, and he instructed that the bill of divorce should be returned. There is a disagreement as to the exact details of the case. There are those who say that this occurred in the place where people sell flax, and it is specifically because it was not established that two couples with the same names lived in the city where the bill of divorce was written, that Rabbah ruled that the bill of divorce should be returned despite the fact that passing caravans are common there. And there are those who say that it occurred in the place where people soak flax, and he ruled that the bill of divorce should be returned even though it was established that there were two couples with the same name living in the city where the bill of divorce was written, as passing caravans are uncommon there. Similarly, Rabbi Zera raises a contradiction between the Mishnah and a Braita, and he resolves the contradiction employing the same distinction. We learned in the Mishnah, with regard to an agent who was bringing a bill of divorce to a woman and he lost it, if he found it immediately, the bill of divorce is still valid, but if not, it is not valid. And Rabbi Zera raises a contradiction between this Mishnah and a Braita that states, if one found a woman's bill of divorce in the marketplace, in a case where the husband admits that he wrote and gave it to the wife, the finder must return it to the wife. But if the husband does not admit to this, he may return it neither to this one nor to that one, neither to the husband nor to the wife. In any event, the Braita teaches that in a case when the husband admits that he wrote it, the finder must return it to the wife. And this is the halacha even if it was found after a long time. And Rabbi Zera answers that here, in the case of the Mishnah, the bill of divorce is valid only if it is found immediately as it is in a case where it is found in a place where passing caravans are common. And there, in the Braita, the bill of divorce can be returned, even if it was found after a long time, as it is in a case where it is found in a place where passing caravans are uncommon. The Gemara compares the rulings of Rabbah and Rabbi Zera. There are those who say, with regard to Rabbi Zera's statement, that the finder should not return the bill of divorce in a place where passing caravans are common. And this applies specifically in a case where it is established that there are two couples in the town with the same names. In that case, Rabbi Zera holds that the bill of divorce should not be returned. And this is the same ruling as that of Rabbah. And there are those who say, in a place where passing caravans are common, even if it is not established that there are two couples with the same names, the bill of divorce should not be returned, and Rabbi Zera disagrees with the ruling of Rabbah. Bishlama Rabbah lo amar k'Rabbi Zera masnisan ilim alei lakoshye el Rav Zera my time lo amar k'Rabbah. The Gemara asks, granted, Rabbah does not state his explanation in accordance with that of Rabbi Zera and raise a contradiction from the Braita, as he holds that the Mishnah serves as a stronger basis for raising a difficulty than a Braita, as the Mishnah redacted by Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi employs more precise language. But what is the reason that Rabbi Zera does not state his explanation in accordance with that of Rabbah and raise a contradiction from the Mishnah? The Gemara answers, Rabbi Zera could have said to you, Amar lach mikatani ha'amar tanu, not nostin vafilu, asman meruba. The Gemara answers, Rabbi Zera could have said to you, does the Mishnah actually teach that if the one who wrote the document says, give it to the intended recipient, the finder must give it to him, and that this is the halacha, even if a long time passed since it was lost? This was only an inference from the Mishnah. Perhaps the Mishnah merely means to indicate that the writer says, give it to the intended recipient. The finder must give it to him. But actually, this is to be understood, as we maintain in the Mishnah in Gittin, that this halacha applies only if the document was found immediately. Therefore, Rabbi Zera posed his question from the Braita. The Gemara asks, according to the one who says that according to the opinion of Rabbi Zera, a document may not be returned in a place where passing caravans are common. And this is the halacha even if it was not established that there are two people named Yosef ben Shimon in town. And, these days there's probably many people named Yosef ben Shimon. There's probably, several hundred people in that. Anyway, and disagrees with Rabbah with regard to what do Rabbi Zera and Rabbah disagree? What is the foundation of their dispute? The Gemara answers, Rabbah maintains his opinion based on the Mishnah 28 that teaches one must return any court enactment if he understands that we are dealing with a document that was found in court, and a court is equivalent to a place where passing caravans are common. And therefore he maintains that it is specifically in a place where it is established that there are two people with the same name that the finder should not return the document to its presumed owner, but in a place where it is not established that there are two people with the same name, he should return it. And Rabbi Zera, who disagrees with Rabbah, could have said to you, does the Mishnah teach that one must return any court enactment that was found in court? It teaches that one must return any court enactment without specifying the location where the court enactment was found, and it is actually referring to a case where the documents were found outside the court. If it was found inside the court, it should not be returned. Therefore, Rabbi Zera was not convinced by Rabbah's proof. Rabbi Jeremiah says, Rabbi Yirmiyahu says, An alternative resolution to the contradiction between the Mishnah here and the Braita, on the other hand, and the Mishnah in Gittin on the other. A found bill of divorce should be returned only in a case where the witnesses who signed the bill of divorce say, "We have never signed a bill of divorce of a person named Yosef ben Shimon other than this one, in which case there is no concern that the bill of divorce belongs to someone else." The Gemara asks, if this is so, what is the purpose of stating that one returns the bill of divorce? Since it clearly belongs to him, there is no question that it must be returned to him. The Gemara answers that it is necessary, lest you say, that the one should be concerned that perhaps it happened that another bill of divorce was written in which the names of the husband and the wife are identical to the names of the husband and wife of the second bill of divorce, and the names of the witnesses on that bill of divorce are identical to the names of the witnesses on this bill of divorce, when in fact they are different witnesses. To counter this, the Mishnah teaches that this is not a concern. Rav Ashi stated, another resolution to the contradiction: the bill of divorce should be returned only in the case where the person claiming to have lost it provides a clear-cut distinguishing mark. For example, he says, there is a hole in the bill of divorce next to such and such a letter. The Gemara comments, and Rav Ashi permits one to return such a bill of divorce specifically when the one claiming to have lost it says that the hole is next to such and such a letter, as that is a clear-cut distinguishing mark. But if he said only that it had a hole without mentioning its precise location, one should not return the bill of divorce, as that is not considered a clear-cut distinguishing mark. The Gemara explains, Rav Ashi is uncertain whether lost item is returned to its owner on the basis of distinguishing marks by Torah law, or whether it is by rabbinic law. Therefore, in the case of a bill of divorce, he holds that one may rely only on a clear-cut distinguishing mark, as everyone agrees that a lost item is returned to its owner on the basis of a clear-cut distinguishing mark by Torah law. Rabbi Bar Chana